There's a town in North Idaho where your nearest neighbor might be a moose. And honestly, the moose might be the meanest thing up there. Priest River, Idaho, population about 1,800 people, and I'm pretty sure half of them don't want you to know they're there. If you saw my St. Mary's video, think of Priest River like St. Mary's friendlier cousin who moved further north and got really into off-grid living. Same tiny town Idaho charm, same blink and you'll miss it downtown. But where St. Mary's can feel like you need 3 generations of history to get a wave at the gas station, Priest River actually rolls out the welcome mat. Mostly. I mean, don't show up in a Tesla with a California plate and expect a parade, but you get it. This is not Coeur d'Alene, and this is not Boise, not even close. This is the kind of town where people move to disappear. And I mean that as a compliment. I drove up there, I walked the downtown, which takes about 4 minutes if you're walking real slow, and came away thinking this place is genuinely special. But it is not for everyone. It's not even for me, and I live in North Idaho. So today, I'm gonna walk you through everything, the good, the trade-offs, and the stuff nobody else is gonna tell you, so you can figure out if Priest River is your kind of paradise. So let's set the scene. The town of Priest River sits right where the Priest River meets Pend Oreille River, tucked into the Idaho Panhandle along Highway 2. Elevation is about 2,100 feet, surrounded on all sides by Idaho Panhandle National Forest. Sandpoint is 30 minutes east, Coeur d'Alene is about an hour south, and Spokane Airport, your closest real airport, is about 75 minutes away. And Priest Lake, which is one of the most beautiful lakes in the entire state, is just 30 minutes north. So yeah, you're out there. Your Amazon driver deserves a medal and probably a little bit of therapy. But here's the thing, that remoteness, that's not the bug, that is the feature. And when you see what that kind of remoteness actually buys you, you might actually start rethinking your whole zip code. Because despite being a town of 1,800 people, Priest River has a downtown that has absolutely no business being as charming as it is. Who wrote this? We're talking local shops, a timber museum, and yes, I said timber museum. Where else can you get a museum dedicated to logs? I'm not even being sarcastic. I actually kind of liked it. There's a brewery, of course, because it's North Idaho, Timbertown Beer Company that does live music, a public library that actually feels like a community hub and not a homeless shelter, local cafes and diners where the server remembers your order by the second visit. And they do events right. Timber Days in July, the whole town celebrates its logging heritage. There's Blues Fest in September, Oktoberfest in October, of course, and Christmas on Maine. This is a town that still knows your name, and in 2026, that's worth more than people realize. But before you pack a U-Haul, let's talk about what this charm is going to cost you and what it's not going to cost you, which is important too. Because here's where Priest River really gets interesting for a lot of you. The median home price right now is around $415,000. Now, I know what you're thinking, that doesn't sound like a bargain, but let me tell you what $415,000 buys you here. You're getting a small town on a river. Priest Lake, one of the clearest, most beautiful lakes in Idaho, is 30 minutes up the road. You're surrounded by national forest, and you're not fighting over a half-acre lot next to a strip mall. In Coeur d'Alene, you're paying close to $600,000, and you're sharing that lake with everybody and their cousin's Airbnb. In Sandpoint, you're pushing past that. Priest River, you get the water, the mountains, and the elbow room for less. And the range is wild. You can find bare land for around $200,000 or a 4,500 square foot luxury home on Morningstar Mountain Road for $1.35 million. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. And rentals? A 2-bedroom averages about $970 a month. The national average is around $1,430. So you're saving almost $500 a month. That's enough to buy a Costco hot dog every weekday for a year, which I highly suggest you do not do. That would be horrible for you.
Enough is enough!
Utilities run about 20% below the national average. Groceries are about the same as anywhere in North Idaho. Overall cost of living is about 7% above the national average, and that's almost entirely driven by housing appreciation from the last few years. Now, the housing stock, 65% is single-family homes, about 14% is mobile homes, and the median home was built in 1973. Which means your house has the same vibe as a Led Zeppelin album. Classic, but might need some work. And here's the kicker for a lot of you. Most acreage properties outside the city have 0 CC&Rs. No HOA, no architectural review board. You want to drink a case of Red Bull and work through the night building your shop? Nothing's stopping you except maybe your aging heart. But, and this is a big but, cheap housing doesn't matter if you can't make a living. The median household income in Priest River is about $58,000 a year. The national average is $69,000. The local economy runs on timber, tourism, retail, healthcare, and education. There are about 80 businesses in town total. That's 80. That's it. That includes the mom who is selling some sourdough out of her house if she decides to actually make it into an LLC. The projected 10-year job growth is about 41%, which sounds amazing until you realize that's going from almost nothing to slightly more than almost nothing. So who actually makes this work financially? There's 3 types of people. Retirees. Idaho doesn't tax Social Security. The state income tax is a flat 5.3%, and your dollar stretches a lot further here than it does in most of the country. Remote workers, if you've got a laptop and a paycheck from somewhere else, this is the cheat code. Earn a city salary, live on acreage in the woods. And people who figured out how to monetize chopping wood, which honestly, around here is more people than you'd think. But, and this is important, if you're banking on remote work, verify your internet before you buy. Rural connectivity out here can be inconsistent, which is a nice way of saying sometimes it just doesn't work. Most people go with Starlink, but remember, that signal doesn't like to go through pine trees, so make sure you have a clear line of sight to the sky before signing that 30-year mortgage. Now, here's where Priest River gets really interesting and where some of you are going to fall in love, and some of you are probably going to stop watching this video. Because Priest River might just be the most property freedom-friendly place in North Idaho. The city has an R5 rural development zone. 5-acre minimums, agriculture, and large animals are permitted outright. We're talking chickens, goats, horses, the whole homestead. And that one neighbor who's definitely building something he won't talk to you about. It's probably an underground apocalypse bunker. Yeah, it's definitely a bunker.
Buy a bunker, they said. It'll be a good idea, they said.
Outside city limits, Bonner County zoning kicks in and you get even more freedom. Most rural parcels have no CC&Rs at all. Well and septic are common. You are your own infrastructure out there. For the off-grid crowd, for the preppers, for the people who just want to be left alone on their own land, this is it. This is the spot. But all that freedom comes with a trade-off that a lot of people don't think about until their first January. Priest River gets 62 inches of snow per year. The national average is 28, so more than double. You're looking at 170 frost days a year. December alone averages almost 23 inches of snow. The all-time high here was 108 degrees, and the all-time low was minus 36. That's a 144 degree swing. Priest River does not know moderation. Summers are gorgeous here. Low 80s during the day, cool nights, 174 sunny days a year. June through August up here is genuinely some of the best weather in the country. But the winters, they are long and they're real. And because Priest River is in the Pacific time zone, it gets dark early. Like, is it 4:30 or is it midnight type early? If you're the kind of person who complains when it's 45 and drizzly in October, Priest River is going to eat you alive. And that brings me to the one thing I genuinely want you to think hard about before you fall in love with this place. Healthcare. The nearest hospital is Bonner General in Sandpoint, 23 miles away. 25 beds, it's a critical access hospital, it handles the basics, and it handles them well. But if you need a specialist, dermatology, oncology, cardiology, you're driving to Coeur d'Alene or Spokane, and that's anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes on a good day. And look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. If you have a medical emergency at 11 p.m. in January with 2 feet of snow on the ground, that 23 miles to Sandpoint is going to feel like 230 miles. That's real. You need to plan for that. In schools, the West Bonner County School District is rated a C-. Reading proficiency is at 60%, math is at 41%. If you have school-age kids, that's a factor. A lot of families up here homeschool, and that tracks with the self-reliant culture, but it's something to know going in. I mean, look, they're probably just going to end up making TikTok videos and becoming millionaires anyways. Why do they need school?
You know something? You're right.
I'm just kidding. And then there's the stuff that nobody puts in the brochure. Internet can be spotty in rural areas, like we talked about. Major shopping and dining, that's Sandpoint or Spokane. And drug use and petty theft exist here the same way they exist in every small rural town in America. And wildfire risk, 99% of properties carry some risk over the next 30 years. Your insurance company is going to have opinions about that, which is probably going to make them more money. So, why would anyone live here? Let's talk about that. Because Priest River isn't for everyone. It's for a very specific kind of person. Someone who values solitude over convenience, self-reliance over services, community over crowds. And 40 acres of forest over a half-acre lot with an HOA telling you what color your mailbox can be, that is why people love it here. It's not for me. I love it up there, but I need a few more restaurants and a little less snow to stay above that lonely, depressed, in it all now, life is meaningless state of mind. I know myself. Sorry, was that an overshare? But for the right person, this might be the most honest, beautiful, affordable corner of Idaho that nobody is talking about. Priest River doesn't need you, but if you need Priest River, you already know. And you can't discount the community that lives up there. One thing I love about towns like Priest River is that the people embrace their own. They look out for each other. And unlike St. Mary's, you don't need to be a third-generation local to be considered part of their community. Sorry, St. Mary's, you guys are rough. If you're thinking about making a move to Priest River, to North Idaho, to anywhere in the state, reach out to me and my team. My phone number and email address is below. And the QR code, you can scan that and schedule a time to talk with me and my team. And you're going to like this next video also. This one is on St. Mary's, which I've been talking about. You got to watch it. It's a good one. And I will see you on that one.